Hopefully everything is. Oh, let me get my lips here. I should have get myself together before I came on live. Well, hello, how y'all doing? As you can see, what I'm doing, I'm working. Uh, Actually driving. This is my shuttle bus where I'm driving on Easter Sunday. Hopefully, your Sunday is blessed and highly favored and all that good stuff. And so I'll take y'all with me on my job here. It's a one in a lifetime thing. That's why I can take you on the route, let you know where I'll be driving to. This is over here by St. Anne's Avenue in the Bronx. And next, you have a railroad next to our job, and it's a sanitation yard over there. This is like the security, but nobody drives in there. And this is where they take the DMV test over here, and this big old lot over here. That's where they take the DMV test during the weekdays. And there's a few ways I could go over to the stop over here. I usually take this way as opposed to that way, any more which way. There's a few ways you could get over to this, to the stop where I first stopped. But this is those of you from the Bronx or not from the Bronx. This is over here by Willis Avenue, 3rd Avenue Bridge, Lincoln Avenue. This is actually going into 3rd Avenue and 138th Street. Yeah, this is the hood, the projects. you know, but ain't nothing. It's quiet during the hours where I work at. You know, this is like a complimentary service that Fresh Direct offers. For their employees because it's quite a distance to walk from the train station. Especially at night. You got to bypass these projects right over here, and it's not really you hearing about all this stuff on the TV about all these shootings and stuff like that. So I guess they give them a little something to a little safety net. That's one of the stops, but this is the stop where I stop at, right over here by the 6th train. This train on 3rd Avenue, 138th Street. This is our first stop, and the second stop is right down the street. But on the overnights, we usually stop right down over here, right down by the 4th train, which is a few blocks down. And we stop down there until about 6 o'clock. And it's like a worthwhile service. Some of the employees get feel entitled. They want you to leave when they want you to, as soon as they get on the bus, and it doesn't work like that and stuff. So some of them be rude, thinking that's their personal shuttle. I said, if you want your personal shuttle, you should just get a Lyft or Uber. That's where they invented Lyft or Uber taxis. Or you're free to walk. That's one of the three. One of the two or three options. So it's either A, B, or C. So, anyway, I just shut them down, even before they get started. Yeah, because, this is a complimentary shuttle. This is a shuttle, not a rank. But, yeah, this is, yeah, so hopefully everything is copacetic with and this is like 138th Street. Please follow and like my content. I'll give you a little live preview of what I do. I'm a shuttle driver over here in the Bronx. I thought, I'd give you a little twist rather than show you the same old, fish content. I thought I'd make a little action videos over here. This is over here in the Bronx. If you ever, those of you that's not from the Bronx, this is the Bronx. I usually wait over here until I get a passenger, and I do shuttle bus over here. Here I go. Don't look too much. Don't look too hard. I'm not a morning person, but yeah, I work this overnight. Somebody got to do it. So yeah, somebody got to do it. So I just it's a work in progress. I'm I'm a driver supervisor over here. I'm one of the guys that been here almost the longest. So, I mean, they asked me to be a manager, but that's come with for everything that comes with more responsibilities. And I don't want to get into all that. You know, so usually the higher up you are, the more responsibilities, the more things you have to deal with. So I choose not to. I don't want to become no manager over here. Nope. Because the last few managers, they got fired, and they don't have not, it's like they had to find another job. Don't ask me what they got fired for, but I guess they was doing a little scrupulous things because they pay favoritism when it comes to drivers, and give them their hours and stuff like that, and other nonsense. I don't get into all that, but moving right along. Yeah, I'm just choose to be a supervisor, driver supervisor. I can break other drivers up, which I'm not gonna do because I drive along right with them, so I already know how it is over here. You're gonna get complaints regardless. You're gonna get complaints from everybody, so you can't. Nobody's ever satisfied. These are the projects. This is the second stop. It stops right over here. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, people. I'm over here running my mouth. This is it was like an old precinct back there. There was an old precinct back there, but they moved the precinct down to Bruckner Boulevard. But this is the projects right over here. Oh my goodness, this is so disgusting. There'd be rats and shit running through across over here at night. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the PJs right over here. That's the second stop. There's actually no people out here because, it's kind of light. It's a Sunday. I thought it'd be busy. But I guess, nobody, they ain't coming to work for Fresh Direct. Not today. And it's almost time for me to get off. So, I said, let me just give y'all a little tour because, come on, let's go. You over here sleeping? Come on. Shit. Fucking idiot. You sleeping behind the wheel? Fucking idiot. Now he's gonna run past the stop sign over here. I don't know what the hell. he was falling asleep behind the wheel or something. Anyway, you gotta always watch out for drivers like that. But anyway, I'm the driver supervisor. I'm in charge, if there's any write-ups or whatever, any briefs between, between the client over here, I squash that. So, it's a work in progress. It pays a few more dollars. I even really want to take that because, I just rather just come in and do my hours and go home, and without any extra mess. They asked me to do a driver manager. Nope, because you're not only in charge of this site, you're in charge of other sites in Queens, Brooklyn, and all this stuff. And whenever drivers call out, if you can't find any other drivers, guess who's going out there to cover it? You are. So that's like I said. Whenever we're great. So I'm stuff. They plan on. I'm not too sure how long we're gonna have this contract with Fresh Direct. They say next month is supposed to be our last month. That's the Willis Avenue Bridge right there. We go right underneath it. If y'all can see it, that's the Willis Avenue Bridge. And our job is right over here. I'll take you on the whole mission. And this is right there. I'm here. This is where Fresh Direct is at. It's right over close to a railroad yard. So, hopefully this video will get some views. Like, share, subscribe. And that's the Fresh Direct truck. If you see him, I mean, you don't even need any license to drive. I mean, you don't need a regular license to drive that box truck. Believe it or not, So that they be getting all these idiots here that be driving all crazy. So believe it or not, you don't need any type of seat. You should at least need a CL to drive something like that, because some of the drivers, they don't understand the turning radius, and they be driving all crazy and stuff over here. And that's Lizette. She's the other driver. Lizette over here. There's always two drivers driving per shift. So just like I said, they appointed me the supervisor thing over here just for this site over here. So so whenever I get tired of it, I pass the torch down to somebody else. This is the actual Fresh Direct over here. And people ride their bikes over here to work and stuff, as you can see. And this is the trucks over here, and they deliver the food to little customers down in Manhattan, Brooklyn, the tri-state area, Manhattan, some parts of Long Island City, Queens. I believe the Queen for Staten Island, they have their own little hub over there, in Queens and stuff over there. So this is the first stop is over here. Well, I could have told you that was the first stop where the main entrance, and this is the rear entrance where transportation goes. So I'm gonna copy this and edit this. Say this is Fresh Direct in the Bronx. See, there's that one. This is where transportation is. Where the drivers. When they say transportation, this is transportation. This is where the drivers is at. And and they have their they're right beside FedEx over here. So if you want to come in and put out an application, they're always hiring over here. Just log on to freshdirect.com. I mean, not lately, because they're kind of firing, so I take that back, because they're trying to cut down on this, like the slow season, the middle of the slow season. I think today would be busy, because since it's Easter, I guess not so much. But so as I was saying, these are the box trucks that you would drive. You only need a D license to drive these trucks, and they start you less than like $20 an hour, I believe, 18 to 20. It depends on, and it goes up a few cents every couple of months or something like that. I think $20 is their top pay over there, even that. I mean, you might get a few tips from the customers, because you're delivering perishables, to the rich people downtown Manhattan. So they, I believe they do tip you, some customers. Depends on how they feel. Downtown Manhattan is like a kind of relaxed atmosphere, and so it depends on what route they give you. Some routes I believe they tip, and some routes they don't. It's like it's like a little drop and go type situation. So everything is different. This is what I've been hearing. But yeah, I just wanted to bring y'all along on my little route here. Give you a little Easter treat, so you can see what I'll be doing. On one of my jobs, I also work at the airport, and I can't really record over there like this. This is the only reason I'm doing this. This is like when you first come in over here. So, and he's still sending drivers out, as you can see. So he's going to make deliveries over here. It might be light because it's Sunday, and and it's Easter. So, and from what I heard, that they don't even pay holiday pay. It's ridiculous. So no holiday. The only reason I'm working today is because I get overtime today. So, And it's a holiday, so I can't really get overtime plus the holiday pay. It's either one or the other. So it is what it is. So and this is the main entrance, which is Fresh Direct. You will go in this entrance, which is to St. Anne's Place in the Bronx. Go there during the week and inquire about the application. They stop, they put a pause on it, just like I said, for hiring. But you gotta check out the website. They might be hiring, in a couple of months. I'm not sure, but right now, everything is uncertain. So you just gotta take it as, just keep, try again. They might be hiring for other hubs, but this one not so much, because they laid off a few people from the transportation side, from what I hear, and then they're doing all these cuts over here. So you know nothing's really guaranteed. And usually I be having a couple of workers come out here, at least a few workers, that be getting off at random times. But nobody, I haven't gotten no riders over here. I had to make my smoothie for tonight. Uh, I was forced to drink finger lemonade. Yeah, I don't even think I want to drink this. Yeah, yeah, I had to make my smoothie for tonight. Get that going. But yeah, so I usually drink that for the night, and a couple other things to help me stay up. I'm used to it. So this is not for the weak. I'm used to staying up overnight stuff. So it's not a bad gig. It's not too much. And these people need somebody to transport them for the train station all the way from over here. Unless they want to take a Lyft or Uber, but not too many people got $5, $10 to drive. To take the Lyft or Uber every day. From here to the with the train or whatever, or to their house. They don't really got transportation money like that. But the way these employees over here, they be wanting, as soon as they get on the bus, they expect the bus to leave. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna, once, if there's another um, truck coming in, he got finished with his route. But 'cause if you see him coming, they coming. You see them going that way, that's when they're going. But not everything is guaranteed on this thing. So what was I saying? Yeah, with the passengers, these employees, they think that the bus is supposed to leave right when they get on the bus. I said, no, you have to. It doesn't work that way. You get you either use your 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 walking legs, your able body. You can go ahead and walk, or you could just wait until it's time for me to pull out. You know, because usually they want you to wait until the next bus comes in. And then before we take off, because they want the bus to be constantly circling around here. So one bus comes in, one bus leaves, so it's constant, moving and stuff. And some of these employees, they don't understand that. They just want to get out of here. I know they just get off work, but if you want to get off there, then they have a Lyft or Uber that come pick you up right over here. It's like this little Lyft over here that's pulling around. You get ready to drop somebody off. I hate these damn cars because most of them can't drive with the damn. And be making all type of idiotic maneuvers and stuff out there. They act like they don't know. They act like they drive in their own countries, because most of them are foreigners. They act like they drive in their own freaking countries. Yeah, so people usually take a Lyft or Uber. That's like he's getting out the Lyft, and they drop them right off to the front. And anything with a T plate, that's a Lyft or Uber. So I'm just giving you all a little bird's eye view what it's like to work over here in the Fresh Direct. And this is the employee shuttle again. So it's a, just like I said, it's a job. Somebody got to do it. So, and it's basically they sell organic stuff inside. Like you know, low calorie, sugar free type stuff. They do have some snacks in there. Because not everybody's is 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 what they call a vegan. Yeah, they have a lot of vegan stuff in there. Not everybody's a vegan, so they do have some regular, non-calorie food and stuff in there. But the chef, they need to put out some more of their menus. They have fish and all that stuff, and the thing. Maybe I might go in there and go live. I don't really have signal once I go in there, so but I'll see if I can upload a few videos so you can see what they have inside. Give y'all a little bird's eye view. But yeah, it's one of the jobs. I also work at LaGuardia as a fueler. I got used to that. I'm looking to transfer over to something else that I could have flight benefits. 'Cause, I don't want to continue on working that and constantly. But yeah, this is what I do during the overnight shift. And just like I said, I'm the supervisor. I've been here the longest. So if you want to come over and drive over here, we're not hiring for shuttle drivers. We got the full team. We got Lizette and what is it? Mohammed. He just left. He works with me overnight. He usually leaves at from 12 to 8. So I work from 2 to 10, and she works from Lizette. She just came in. She works from 8 to 4, I believe. So and you need like a little Fresh Direct badge. Let me block out my name. You need a little Fresh Direct badge, just to get inside the little podium over here and stuff like that. And there go my my other ID when I was working at JFK. And, I had to block out my name. I don't want y'all to see too much information. But you need like a pass in order to get up, to the bathroom or go inside up there to the cafeteria and stuff, And there go Lizette and stuff. So we have Lizette and who else over here? There's Santiago, he's the other supervisor. He's the other supervisor. Whenever I'm going away, then he's the other supervisor that, covers here whenever I'm not here. And, and there's Dennis. He's another one that's been here longer. I don't know why they didn't give him the supervisor, but he be acting weird, so, I don't know, some of the time, so, And they have Ulysses. The upstairs, they can't stand Ulysses. I don't know, he's like a different character. And they have this other guy, Hector. Yeah, he works for the UPS. He works for the post office. And these are the tractor trailers that come in to make the big deliveries. They usually park and then, they wait till it's time for them to unload. They usually park along this little thoroughfare. They have parking over here. I meant to show you where I park at, but yeah, I'm going back out now that Lizette came back over. And that's pretty much it. I think I lost my views, so hopefully, we're already 24 minutes into it. So like, share if you like this content more, or more or less. But yeah, this is my overnight gig at the Fresh Direct, and this is the view. This is Willis Avenue Bridge again. This is the skyline of the Bronx and everything else. If y'all know this area, yeah, give it a thumbs up, comment, right down here, this is straight down here is like the 138th Street. Actually, 130. We're going down 137. So I was taking that. Let me go down the other way so y'all see the other way there is to go. Well, what is he waiting for? I don't understand. These Sunday drivers over here. Ain't nothing over here. Got that friggin' big ass door in there. Needs to be paying attention to what's going on. Alexander Avenue. Yeah, this is Alexander Avenue. And this is like the public school. And we got the PJs over here. This is an alternative way to go in. This is 135th Street. This is JP Mitchell houses. Which is, using the project over here, NYCHA. And during the week, they be having construction going on over here. So I take the other way, the alternate way. But they be having construction all over here on this thing. They be doing construction, random things. And there's always an accident going on over here, that street. And here we are again. And this is, we're back to our first stop. I just want to give y'all this little tidbit. This is one of my little gigs. I thought I'll bring y'all around. So I'll go ahead and log off. Like, comment, share. Appreciate it. I'll continue all this, put little views over here. Y'all enjoy. Have a blessed Easter Sunday. And we'll right back at you. Peace. No.